Welcome back to all of you. Look, if you're viewing this right now, you must comprehend a very important aspect of music. It wasn't just another tennis match that took place in the United Arab Emirates tonight. Yes, the event was a WTA 1000. Yes, it was a first-round qualifier, but in reality, we saw something akin to a cultural earthquake. Furthermore, the music in the title that you clicked on wasn't clickbait. I mean it. Dubai, a city known for its skyscrapers, elegance, and hosting of the world's elite, just had an incredible musical event. The problem is that it's a positive form of shock music. The kind that causes a whole sport to take notice. One of the highlights of the women's tour is the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships. These events' early rounds are often somewhat mild affairs. You have your corporate boxes, your VIP areas, a few devoted tennis fans strewn about, and perhaps a few courteous cheers here and there. It's peaceful, music, sophisticated, and, well, it's tennis. However, they completely disregarded that rulebook tonight. The stadium sounded nothing like a tennis court. Music. It sounded like a World Cup final or a rock concert. And it was all down to a single name, a 20-year-old sensation who is transforming Dubai's harsh courts into her own realm. Eala Alex. The reports that are emerging from the event are completely outrageous. The same thing is being said by tournament officials, seasoned tennis journalists, and even rival players who are watching from the stands. There are thousands of fans crammed into this space. They weren't merely tennis fans, either. Music. They belonged to her people. This enormous, fervent, well-organized Filipino community in the United Arab Emirates mobilized in a manner that is uncommon in individual sports. Music. They transformed what was supposed to be an away game into a home game. They infused a Tuesday night qualifier with Sunday final energy. People, this is the age. Music. And it won't happen. It's here already. For the past 2 years, we have been discussing it, following her progress through the Rafa Nadal Academy, observing her breakthrough performances in 2025, and examining the rankings. However, the whispering ended and the boom started tonight. Music. The decibel levels reportedly reached levels often reserved for Federer or Nadal in their heyday when Alex Eala entered the floor to play Hailey Baptiste. There were flags all over the stadium, the Filipino sun and 3 stars waving from every angle, faces with music painted on them, and barriers. The chants were thunderous, rhythmic, and unrelenting. And this is the crucial background that we must first establish. This is significant because, in the post-Serena era, tennis has been having trouble finding its next music it factor. Don't get me wrong, our current champions are outstanding. Igaciantec is a complete machine. Music, Arena Sabalanca is a formidable force, but who possesses that cultural appeal? Who forces someone who has never watched tennis to purchase a ticket and stand in line for 3 hours? Alex Eala responded to the query tonight. Music. She demonstrated that she is more than just a gifted artist. She is a phenomenon. Okay, music. Let me tell you the shocking news. An advanced. In music, Dubai, she has advanced to the round of 32. However, the manner it transpired was dramatic, disorganized, and ultimately a reflection of the tremendous strain she is playing under. She defeated American Hailey Baptiste 6-4 in the opening set. It was tedious. A real fight. Eala had to overcome an early disadvantage, disrupt Baptiste's rhythm, work those angles with her deadly lefty forehand, and capitalize on the fervent enthusiasm of the audience. The drama in the second set then began. Baptiste had to retire when behind 0-1 due to an abdominal injury. In other words, the music competition itself finished in a thrilling manner. However, what came next? Music. Anything but dull. Retirement typically results in a deflated atmosphere. Music. The audience breaks up. People make their way to the exits. Not this evening. The crowd exploded like music when the umpire declared that Eala had won Wimbledon. Take a moment to consider that. The crowd response during second-round qualifying is comparable to that of a Grand Slam final. Music. This type of support is what we're dealing with. The organizers of the tournament are in a panic. Music. Every time Eala performs, they become more aware of the necessity for further security. They require larger venues. They must get ready for large crowds. We refer to this as the rock star effect. Music. We also use that phrase somewhat liberally in sports. Anyone with a little charisma is referred to as a rock star. However, watch the video. Music. I wish I could demonstrate it for you, but believe me, in order to get a peek of her towel, fans are actually reaching over obstacles. During changeovers, they are yelling her name. Security seemed really overburdened as they attempt to handle the flood of people vying for autographs. That goes beyond mere popularity. That's chaos on par with the Beatles at Shea Stadium. The establishment is also experiencing it. Eala's next opponent, Jasmine Paolini, the 8th-ranked player in the world, has already called Eala huge for tennis. However, she acknowledged that the music environment is unlike anything she has ever experienced for a player ranked 40th in the world. The Filipino power has already been openly acknowledged by Sula Talak, Music, the tournament director. He is aware that the approximately 1 million Filipinos living in the United Arab Emirates, including the 3,000 workers at Dubai duty-free alone, are more than just demographics. They are an army that purchases tickets, dons merchandise, and produces a unique environment. Why, therefore, is everyone in Dubai in disbelief? Because they didn't realize how hungry they were. They failed to recognize the pride of a country in need of a world-renowned tennis player. In boxing, we witnessed that with Manny Pacquiao. The world paused while he battled. We are witnessing the first flickers of the same passion in tennis. It's crazy. There is anarchy, it's lovely. We'll go into great depth about this evening over the course of the next few music minutes. Here, we're not merely discussing forehands and backhands. We're exploring the psychology of this fanaticism, analyzing the financial ramifications for the WTA, and anticipating the future. Because next round, Alex will play a player in the top 10. And if you thought the crowd was noisy for music tonight, you won't believe what they have in store for Jasmine Paolini. Fasten your seatbelt. There won't be an Eala ERA.it is present. It's noisy. Music. It's pleased. One game at a time, it is dominating the Middle East. The tennis community has been alerted. You can't overlook this girl because of her size. And it was impossible to ignore the music of thousands of yelling supporters behind her. Let's get started by comprehending this phenomenon's architecture, music. We must look at the framework underlying this frenzy in order to fully understand what transpired in Dubai. It's also easy to remark that a large number of people attended, but that doesn't fully convey the atmosphere of the event. We must examine these individuals and the reasons why this specific tournament served as the catalyst for the Eala eruption. The ecosystem of Dubai is distinct. The world is at a crossroads, right? However, the Filipino expat music community is, in many respects, the throbbing heart of this metropolis. They have been the foundation of almost every industry in the Emirates for decades, including the service sector, healthcare, engineering, and music. However, they have mostly been spectators in the realm of sports. Yes, they would watch boxing events and NBA games. However, tennis seemed to be an exclusive European luxury, a music gentleman's activity unrelated to the everyday lives of Filipino workers overseas. Music. Alex Eala completely altered that calculation. However, she has given a human face to a sport that seemed, music, aloof. These fans weren't merely there to enjoy a sport when they entered the duty-free tennis arena in Dubai tonight. They had come to witness representation. They were arriving to witness their own narrative reflected on a worldwide platform. A young woman who works overseas and struggles to make a name for herself. There is a strong connection to that story. T forges a connection that goes beyond just sporting enthusiasm. It fosters loyalty. And this rockstar reaction is directly fueled by that loyalty. The audience isn't counting her unintentional mistakes when I play music. They are sharing all of her emotions. There was a general moan that reverberated around the arena as she missed a first serve against Baptiste. It's more like shared worry than disappointment. It was more than just shouts when Ma smashed that cross-court forehand winner to break serve in the music first set. Tension was released. It had a visceral quality. The local organizers weren't ready for this. They are accustomed to courteous applause, sporadic standing ovations, and this unadulterated emotional bond between the player and the audience during a first-round music match is something they are not accustomed to. It's unlike anything they've ever seen. The actual tennis game. However, let's put the hoopla aside for a bit and discuss the tennis itself. Because it was difficult for the Machiel to play. The threat posed by Hailey Baptiste is real. Music. She is only one place higher, at number 39 in the world. She has weapons. She has a lot of experience. This was a coin flip on music paper. From the beginning, the opening set was a fierce struggle. Eala got off to a bad start, and to be honest, who wouldn't go behind 1-2 early with all the commotion and expectations? Eala could have given in to that pressure a year ago. It's possible that she overreached and attempted to be the hero too quickly. However, this Alex is not the same on tour. This version has been put to the test. She maintained her patience. She made points. She opened up the court by dragging Baptiste wide with that lefty spin, then clawed her way back to break for 3-2. That break was a pivotal moment. The change in momentum was palpable. She finished the set 6-4 by maintaining her composure. At that point, the audience realized that she had come to compete. Here, we also need to recognize her mental toughness. It's very hard to play your best tennis music when hundreds of people are yelling your name whenever you touch the towel. It might be distracting. It might be too much to handle. However, Eala channeled it. Rather than letting that energy become a burden, she used it as fuel. It was regrettable that Baptiste music retired at a 0-1 deficit in the second set. From an analytical perspective, it reveals something about Eala's intensity, but we never like to see a player hurt, and we hope Haley recovers quickly. She forces opponents to exert every ounce of effort. Baptiste's collapse was probably caused by the physical toll of the first set and the unrelenting hostility. You do not receive free points from Eala. You are grinded down by her. Additionally, it creates a suffocating environment for any opponent when you mix the on-court pressure with the continuous roar from the stands. What does the term music era really mean? The term era is frequently used, but what does it actually mean? Is music based on reality, or is it just hype? The trajectory indicates that it is quite real. Take a look at the figures. Eala recently made it into the music top 40. She has a career-high rating right now. She wasn't even in the top music 150 at this time last year. In the world of professional tennis, that is an incredible ascent. She is no longer a junior prospect. Music. She poses a real threat at the tour level. In women's tennis, the Eala era also signifies a shift in dominance in favor of Asia. We had Lina paving the way from China for years with music. Naomi Osaka from Japan is here. However, when it comes to elite singles talent, Southeast Asia has been remarkably silent. IA is bridging a huge geographical and cultural gap. By the way, the WTA is aware of this. Music. They are frantically looking for a celebrity who can open up the market in Southeast Asia. Music. They examine measures related to social media participation. More people interact with Eala's postings than with some of the top 5 musicians. These days, they consider ticket sales at competitions in locations like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, as well as possible music forthcoming Asian swings. IA is a treasure trove for the sport. She already has a devoted following that travels, spends money, and enjoys music. The events in Dubai serve as proof of concept. It demonstrates that you can count on music to be a spectacle if you put Eala on a show court. It verifies all of her sponsorship agreements and wild cards. Grand Slam victories are undoubtedly important, but the Eala era is much more than that. Music. The idea is for her to represent tennis to 600 million people in the area. Pellini is waiting for the road ahead. The story is about to get even more juicy, so let's discuss what comes next. The true litmus test is when Alex Eala goes on a date with Jasmine Pellini. Music. Jasmine Pellini is a Grand Slam finalist, not merely talented. In the world, she is rated 7th. She has performed on the biggest venues in the world, and her music is quick and reliable. Eala's exact position in the hierarchy will be revealed by this battle. Here's the twist, though. Pellini is aware of what is about to happen.